How can you make that community bigger? Who is that community and who are those people that you can support more? And I don't mean your auntie and your uncle and your family. Hope, you'll be supporting them in every way you can, and you don't want to burn out doing that either. But what I'm talking about is this bigger healthcare community.
Practitioners.
Like-minded. Yes, the like-minded people. How can we make our community bigger so we're not isolating ourselves away from those support networks, and we're supporting them and they're supporting us?
Yeah.
So how to make those communities bigger.
We can only do this when we do this together.
Oh, that is a beautiful ending. We can only do this when we do it together. Mentoring with Geraldine is a bite-sized practitioner podcast for naturopaths, nutritionists, herbalists, coaches, and practitioners. This podcast responds directly to the needs of you, the practicing natural therapist. We have interviews during the holiday season and business and mindset support each week, so you'll get the variety you need to enjoy and stay motivated in your practice. If you want to connect with me, always check the show notes, because that's where you'll find the links to book appointments. Now, let's get started. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Mentoring with Geraldine and the Bite Size Podcast. How the devil are you? Well, as you know, we have the occasional guest, not so many. I like to have them at holiday times and, of course, end of financial year, the most important times. So today I've got Coby du Preez, and he lives in Sydney, where he runs a massage business and also Pilates business. So it is Pilates, isn't it, Coby?
That's correct. It's more like a Pilates gym, but yes, it is definitely a business.
I love a Pilates gym. I want one by me. Oh, I live in the countryside. No one's going to give me one.
Oh, no.
So I've met Coby on the board of ATMS. He's a really cool guy, and he's really into the massage aspect, and it's really good having different insights. We all have a business. So whether you're like me working from home, like me working online, or whether you're in a clinic or working for another clinic, there's always so much we can learn about growth and about change and about how other people got to have these amazing businesses. Coby's obviously got that incredible client retention that I'm always talking about, that way we talk to people, the way we connect and communicate so we make sure people are coming back. He's got around 40 people working in his businesses. So that's a huge scope. And that's a lot of growth for any of us, right? From this really solo practitioner, where do we go next? How do we take that leap of faith? How do we think to ourselves, yeah, it's time for me to change it up, or it's time for me to leave the business. Preferably, it's time to change it up. It's time to do something different or do it in a different way. So let's spend 20 minutes or so chatting to Coby and finding out how he went from being that, I'm assuming, solo massage therapist, because that's where we all kind of start, into that business owner, that business developer, to create that client retention, that sustainable growth, and that incredible passion that you have for helping people. So welcome, Coby, and let's get into it.
Geraldine, thank you for having me. It's quite honored to be in this rarefied interview or chat room or whatever it is you have over here. So it's lovely to be here. Thank you for having me.
So, Coby, tell us
Yes.
So in your mind, what is the biggest leap of faith around business that you made early on? Not recently, because obviously one of those leaps might have been joining the board, but back when it was just like, scary maneuvers, what am I doing next? What was that one big thing that was the shot that went, yeah?
The big thing is learning to let go. The business is, obviously, we try and build a business, but it's not all about just about me. When in our case, we've got 40 people that work for us now, and in various capacities, and then we've got I've got clientele that I've known for over the past 20 years, and they keep giving me advice. And then we've also got the memberships at the Pilates studio, and you've got a massive membership there as well. And we've got hundreds of people coming through our doors every day, and I see sometimes 8 to 9 people a day on a very busy day. And so that gives me more of a picture. It's like, yes, it's taking that leap of faith. It was more about than just me. And to be honest with you, I always wanted just to be the best massage therapist in the world, right? So that's was my dream. And for a very long time, I just kept flogging myself, just doing the best thing until I actually got quite ill, just doing my own thing, just keep pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing and trying to do everything by myself. And that's probably where the big leap of faith. Then also having people that believe in me. And my biggest cheer squad is my wife, Danny. I mean, she's probably been the biggest man. She's probably the one with the actual business mind. And I've learned so much from her. She kept telling me, and I did go, yeah, whatever. And then until one day she actually decided, okay, this is enough. You're going to go and join a group, a business mentorship group. And that's where things really, really changed for me and for us as well. And eventually we ended up working together in a clinic for a while. And we did okay. I grew from one employee and I added another employee, and then, employees come and go. In Double Bay, I have, 6 other therapists that actually work with us over here now. And we're actually keeping our doors open 7 days a week. So that's been a massive leap of faith. And it's more than just about me, but it's also about the energy and the warmth and the hospitality and all of those things that actually come together for us. Yeah.
Did you notice that burnout moment, or was it your wife that noticed that burnout?
I noticed that even before I met my wife. So I was a sole practitioner doing my own thing. At those days, it was like renting a room all by myself, working as a sole practitioner. I was this island, and I literally did all my bookings myself and tried to do, pay bills and get people in, and just, that really took a toll on me. And actually, literally, I wouldn't say I had a breakdown, but I came very close to really running myself ragged. And that was just towards the end of the year, and things just got a lot. But I'm very grateful for everything that, I call them valuable lessons, but sometimes they were actually quite expensive lessons as well, right? That I've learned along the way. So, so it was actually, probably, where was that at? That was in the first quarter of my massage career. Prior to that, I used to work in hospitality. So I've been a chef in a previous life also. So
you're probably used to burning yourself out a bit, because I worked in restaurants and kitchens as well. I wasn't a chef.
Well, the funny thing is, I wanted to become a massage therapist because I wanted to get away from that lifestyle of cooking myself, literally, in the kitchen. And here I went replicating exactly that. So that was probably a big aha moment. So we work better as a team or a community and all that there. And so things have been very much community-minded, or a collective or a corporation, or that's where the big changes came for me, and inherently, yes.
Yeah, the community-minded part is, that's huge, isn't it? Having that community, having that group of other people who are there to support you, whether they're supporting you one-to-one and you're seeing them like your wife, or whether they're in a group, it could be online. That's one thing about a lot of the people who listen to this podcast, is they might not necessarily have the full confidence of those around them, because we take on this wellness, we're going to help others. We're going to get well ourselves. We're going to support others in their wellness. And then we have these ideas, hey, you've got to drink apple cider vinegar, you've got to move your body, and then some of these things, people I'm not drinking apple cider vinegar. Where's the life in that? Sorry if I told my husband to drink apple cider vinegar. And I do, and he watches me, and he's just like, I can't believe you're doing that.
Yeah, right.
But, it's the confidence from others when we go and change, and when we take that step, that leap of faith to do those other things.
Yeah.
And so because that's the other thing, isn't it, is when you were a solo practitioner, you were massaging, you were doing everything, but you were paying bills, you're trying to get the clients in, you're trying to do the whole 9 yards. It has kind of got easier over the years to do it, because now we've got all these apps and things that will help us. But at the same time, it's got harder because the scope of knowledge is bigger.
Yeah.
There was the brown manila folder. I wrote everything down. I had carbon paper. My clients got a carbon paper copy of I kept the carbon paper. They kept the top copy. And I had a manila folder.
Yeah.
So, of course, I went online. Now everything's online. So that saves me having a filing cabinet, but it doesn't save me remembering passwords, trying to use the system, remembering how to get something out of the system, remember, all of the things that go with it. And then, there was just Facebook, really. And you weren't advertising on it. You'd sort of tell people what you were doing. Some people were much smarter than that, and they would, they'd figured out how to advertise on it very early on. I mean, there were a number of other systems. So things have changed subtly and yet not at all over all of the years. Do you have one thing? Like for me, it was getting a bookkeeper. Getting a bookkeeper changed my...
So a bookkeeper was just absolutely invaluable, saved me so much headache. With the bookkeeper was able to send a file to the accountant and then, boom, press the button and then everything happened all at once. That was just like bookkeeping is clearly not a skill that I've developed along the way, right? So I guess I've learned then also to then outsource, the skill sets that I have. And it really helped me then focus on the things I love doing. And I love doing what I do. I also love being in the coalface. I'm still in a clinic, treating clients as well. But I'm also running a business and I'm also mentoring students and I'm, managing people and personalities and I'm managing clients and diaries and still managing bills and budgeting and all those things that we don't often, but very, very important things. But yes, definitely outsourcing things, but don't relinquish the control over it either is also a valuable lesson, I think. Just making sure that, yes, if you are going to hand off tasks, make sure you know exactly what is actually going on. So educate yourself on what the numbers are saying. Very, very important.
Yeah, absolutely. That's just sort of it's knowing where your money's going out. It's all very well handing over the spreadsheet itself and what goes onto the spreadsheet, but you need to be knowledgeable about those numbers, about where the money is going, how it's working, whether you're earning a salary, putting money into super, doing all the things that solo business people often just don't do. They don't, I'll get around to the super another day. And no, you're not. You need to put money into your super from minute one. You need to put money in.
Well, I feel very passionate about super because there for a long time I didn't pay myself any super and I go, yes. And that, realizing now what a major gap it actually left there for me. So, but also by virtue of having 40 people that work for us as well, some of them actually are genuine contractors as well. And I make sure that super is actually getting paid for these contractors as well. So I feel very, very passionate. And I think it's just a lawful thing to do, the legal thing to do, but it's also the moral. I always make sure that super gets paid into my contractors and employees and all that there. So doing the right thing, also very, very important, Geraldine.
Yeah. And doing the right thing for yourself. I mean, like if we're working for ourselves, making sure that we're taking time out, we're not burning out. Like, when you're doing everything and trying to, well, not just make a living, but you're trying to make the world change, aren't you? You're trying to make the world run in the way that it should, with a moral compass and with a healthy compass. And then we're battered on all sides to make it look, like we can't do anything as the individual. But each individual we help, we create a knock-on effect because they are able to help others. Yeah. So my shoulder has been really bad in the past. And finally, I had a massage therapist tell me off and tell me that I had to go and do something about it. And so I went to a physiotherapist. I got the exercises. I go to regular massage therapy. And now, of course, getting a bit older, so it's the whole body that's gone. It's not just the shoulder. But the knock-on...
excuse, Geraldine.
It's not an excuse. That's just it. None of it's an excuse. Yeah. And if I'd neglected my shoulder, my life now, 10 years after that initial, you're going to get a frozen shoulder if you don't do something about this, Geraldine. I baked bread today. Would I have been able to do that simple thing if that original massage therapist hadn't said, if Nick Top hadn't said to me, sort that shoulder out, girl, I wouldn't have been able to stand there and knead bread for 10 minutes.
Yeah. And I think you just touched on a very, very important point there, Geraldine, is like clients walk into the room and here. So I try and connect with a goal that they're actually trying to achieve. So I'm not here to try and sell you appointments. That's a big distinction that I'm trying to do. What I'm trying to do is actually, let's offer you solutions to your shoulder, and not about, and it's become more than your shoulder. It's actually become about baking bread for you, right?
Yeah.
So I actually, as a practitioner, and this is something we actually do in the clinic, we actually try and find out, no, what would you actually like to achieve? And this is how I mentor my practitioners over here in such a way that they get connected with their clients' dreams and aspirations. So we can actually enter that journey with them. So we actually create a partnership for getting better and for them eventually to be able to go and bake bread or walk the Camino or whatever it is that they do.
Yeah.
And so that part of that's how I created that community spirit, because we're actually in that partnership of creating that, achieving that goal. Does it make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. As part of my intake form, and as the listeners will know, I always say to my clients on the intake form, what are your top 3 goals?
Yeah.
And the first 2 are always very tangible. It's always a very tangible, sort my shoulder out. Well, it's not for me. I won't get to sort my shoulder out. So I sort my guts out or sort my, skin out or whatever it is. And then the next one is always slightly less tangible. Sort my guts out or sort my skin out. And then it might be help me concentrate better. So it's slightly less tangible because you have to find out what's wrong with their concentration. And then the third one is always the least tangible of all. That is always get better, be healthy. If it was walk the Camino, that would come in at like number 2 for people. But the third one, because I say top 3, and the first one's the problem. The second one is an itinerant to that problem. And the third one is always nebulous. So finding out that end goal, that thing that they aspire to, walking the Camino, because they might not say it out loud, because they might think, well, I've got to sort my guts out, and then there's my skin, and then I've got to deal with my auntie, and then there's the dog, and then there's the, I've got to buy a ticket. Oh, I haven't got a passport. You know what I mean? And it whereas finding out the end goal, actually, I've always wanted to walk the Camino.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, so how can we do that? Right. These are the people we need to see.
These one thing, and it just sets this chain of event for the people. That's why I try and dig much deeper about why are you here? Why are you seeing me here today? And it's not about just your Thor hip. It's about what is it that you really want to do. And I like looking for that. And that's about it. So again, I say part of my retention strategy is I always make sure that I tell my instructors and also my practitioners, never sell an appointment. When you try and sell someone an appointment, you've lost them. You want to be able to offer, or dare I say, sell solutions. And that is why people are coming to say yes.
Absolutely.
That's a very, very big thing that I've learned. And that was actually, I've learned that from business coaching as well, right? So this business coaching is absolutely invaluable. It really helped me so much.
Yeah, it's the solution. It's not the problem. It's on my shoulder is sore. I've actually only baked about 4 loaves of bread in my lifetime. I've got no clue why I baked a loaf of bread today. Don't think that I'm this big bread baker. I just think it's cold and drafty and grey outside. And I thought, well, it'd be a really nice thing to do. Bake some bread.
Isn't it just funny? My mum used to make us crepes when it was like cold and wet and all that there. So crepes with cinnamon, sugar and butter and squeeze of lemon. So I have a very fond memory of my mum making us. Yeah. So isn't it just funny?
It's totally weird how it's something, and yet it's worked into this. It's like my shoulder, when I'm doing it in my brain, I'm thinking, okay, I am talking to Coby later. What are we going to talk about? How can we make sure that our listeners relate to what we're saying, that they can take it back to their clients? And finding that magic moment with our clients is super important. And actually being able to relate the bread and the shoulder is one of those ways of saying to your client, what is it you want to achieve? Where are you going? Being mid-year right now, it's for those of us in the southern states, down at the bottom here, it's cold. And we've got to think to ourselves, well, what is it that our clients want? And we do change the diet completely. I spoke to one of my mentees this morning, and she's on the Sunshine Coast. She said, it's getting cold here. It's getting down to about 11 in the morning. Oh, what luxury, getting down to 11 in the morning. You must be loving it. But it does mean that with this change in season, we can finally change diets, and we can talk to people about introducing different things. People who aren't necessarily willing to change their diet, but the weather's changed. So we can do it with that. We can find something like the weather, or baking the bread, or the crepes, making crepes, whatever it might be. How can we integrate this change into your life? How can we find this magic moment for you that you as the client is going to be able to take that step or change? not just get the massage on the shoulder because the shoulder's bad, but to actually go, right, and I'm actually going to exercise my shoulder. I'm going to get myself a strap and I'm going to, touch the handle of the door and do these arm stretches on a regular basis so that I've strengthened this arm. I can bake the bread. I can make the crepes. I can walk the Camino. Because it's a one after the other thing. It's a step for our clients, isn't it? Is to go, what can I do? And for us, it means that we achieve something because we see that change in them.
Yeah. And we listen.
And
that's a very, very big thing, is listening, right? And asking questions and actually understanding what is really going on. And sometimes it goes, like you said, it's beyond than just the sore shoulder. There's a lot, the picture gets much bigger. And the more I understand that picture, the more I can work with that. And quite often people are in pain and I'm listening and I'm actually trying to understand what is going on in their lives as well. And that validates where they are at the time as well. And then quite often it actually creates a feeling of safety where they actually can feel that they can not be judged or be told, but you should do this or should do that. And again, that whole journey that we go on and we talk about where do we want to go, and then that gentle suggestions, okay, but how about this or how about that, or all those kind of things. So and then we try and make it as practical as possible, I suppose.
Yeah. Well, for every practitioner, it doesn't matter what our modality is or what we do. The simple fact is that we might be, especially if it's a new client and someone who hasn't seen a massage therapist in a long time, or or someone who's never seen a naturopath or a nutritionist, and that person sits down and they probably haven't told their whole story in years. They go to the GP and they say, I've got a sore stomach. They go to the GP the next time and they say, I've cut my arm. They go to the GP the next time and they say, I've got a skin condition. Nothing's ever connecting. Whereas they sit down with us and they say, my gut's really hurt. It got worse after the cut in my arm, which became infected. And then my skin flared, and they get to say the whole conversation.
Absolutely, yeah.
And I know with my massage therapist, I actually talk. Can you imagine? Me, I talk all the way through my massage session.
I would not have imagined that, Geraldine.
I know, right? But I do find that because she really gets into some places and she does cupping as well.
She elicits a lot of information, I would imagine.
Yeah. And you get it. I'm giving a lot of information. I'm getting information off her because obviously I'm not a one-way street. So, I get a lot of information off her about things. She always gives me exercises at the end of it because we've talked about what I'm doing and I find that talking actually relieves the pain. So I talk. But when I'm with my clients, I'm actually quite silent because it's their turn.
Yeah.
I'm listening to them and letting them tell me so that I can relate it back to those goals. And I can say, like, the never been well since moment is so important, isn't it? That,
ever since that moment, things have never been the same. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. And how can we get back to there? What was it that happened? Was it a psychological? Was it a physiological? Was it a combination of both? Was it completely outside of your control, but it stopped things happening and improving? It's finding that magic moment to change.
That magic moment. And also just quite often I say, look, your body's just responding to an extraordinary set of circumstances right now, right? So it's not your fault you feel this way. It's just like, this is your body is just what it's doing, what it's meant to be doing. And again, okay, this guy seems to get it, And again, validating my clients is very, very important for me. This is part of that engagement and creating the community, as it were. And then, there are skill sets that I recognize there that when clients talk to me. So when they start talking about their gut health and whatever, I refer on to naturopaths and likes or physiotherapists for that matter. I work very, very closely with a very large community of massage therapists. I even refer on to other massage therapists. Both physicians, doctors and GPs and all that. And that's that big community because now I can serve my clients much better because I can refer on and give them a better outcome as well. So building community is very important. Starting with one small little things, and that's where we have this bigger conversation.
Yeah, absolutely. And finding, as you meet people and you find out what they do and thinking, we connect. I can send, my clients to you. So my girlfriend's a GP and I'd be like, oh, I've got this client for you. She's like, oh God, not another one, Geraldine. They're too difficult. I'm like, okay, I won't send you that one then. And I'll be like, oh no, this one's a really good one. You're going to like this one. But having that community, having those people supporting you, having business mentors and clinical mentors. So, I mean, you're mentoring, you were mentored in business. You mentor people with their business, but there's also that teaching aspect, isn't there? Because you've been doing this job a long time. You teach as well. And so then it's a case of, well, this person, so, I was getting shoulder massages, but it wasn't till I went to the physio and he tucked in underneath. God, it was painful. But then I got the full range of movement. And it's finding that other person and the referrals on from one to the other to find him.
And that's part of that, growing your business is networking and recognizing, okay, there's so much that I can do, but there's also so much more that my community can find value in referring on. And quite often, other people are seeking your skills as well. So remember that. So if you stay in that one room all by yourself and not connecting with your big community, so see how community plays such a big role, Geraldine, and that's very, very important for me.
Yeah, it's super important. And it can be so isolating to not go out and get into community.
And I've been there and I've done that.
Yeah.
And I've learned that lesson. And I promised myself never ever gonna be that island in the stream again, right? And
it's so easy to slip into that though.
Oh gosh,
because I left college because I went to college. It wasn't uni when I trained as a naturopath. So I went to college and there was that big group of people and we caught up a little bit afterwards, but then everybody went off and they're all working alone. So there was myself and one other.
Yeah.
And then I still see her. I still see her occasionally. But everybody, everyone went off and did their own thing. And so slowly as I got busier, my world actually became smaller.
Right.
Because I was getting I was just seeing people churning them through and sending them off. I just had a few referrals, off you go to the GP, off you go to the one physio. And I was just in this really small little box, really. Yeah. And it wasn't until I read a book, I went on holiday and randomly a friend had gone on holiday as well. And we met in Port Macdonald and she had a book in the house they'd rented. The most amazing house I'd rented, and we had like a little box that we'd rented. But I read that book, and it was a mentor, and she was a motivator, an American.
What book was it, Geraldine?
Her name is Tony Maher. I'm going to have to find her.
Yeah,
I think it's Tony.
I'm putting you on the spot now.
You are, because I have fun. Her spelling of her surname is weird as well. Oh. I'm going to have to look her up, and I will put her in the show notes, and I will let you know. Because I don't know where the book is these days.
But so what impact did that book have on you then?
A massive impact. A massive impact. It was, women will always try to study a new thing and do a new thing and not believe that they have enough right now to do the job.
Yeah.
Women will always step back and not get on and think, I can do this. And the biggest point of all of that is the friend, we'd grown up together. And then she was one of the CEOs, or just down for the CEO of Air New Zealand. And I was like, and now she sits on governing boards and things like that. So she's a real inspiration. And I was like, here I am sitting small. And here's this woman who's been handed this book to read, who isn't really that fussed about this book to read, who let me, I just said, I've started reading this book. She's like, oh, yeah, it was given to me. I don't know. I've got time to read it. You have it.
I've even had times when I was like sitting and twiddling my thumbs and why are the people not coming, right? And then the first thing is, maybe I'm not good enough massage therapists. And what I do, I go and read more books and I'm trying to understand, try and learn more. I'm becoming this expert and, I thought I was becoming an expert, but, learning and learning and learning and doing more courses and all. But, doing more courses doesn't necessarily bring more people into the door until I actually just realize, hang on, I need to go and talk to people about what I do, right?
Yeah.
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 So
I
is
need
that
to
kind of
talk to
what
people.
is this kind of what this book's almost about?
Yeah. So she was, I cannot remember her name. You've got me on the spot. I should have
I'm
thought about
sorry,
it.
Jolie.
She's not in
Pop it on the
it.
notes one day for us.
I will send it to her and it'll be in the show notes.
Cool.
So she's American. So as they all are, who shout the loudest.
Yeah.
But she seemed very calm in the way she
Yeah.
shouted the loudest. She wasn't aggressive about it. She was just, think about what you're doing. Can you, playing big, I think it was called Playing Big. I'm going to type it in here and see if it comes up. There she is. I just saw her and that's gone away.
Amazing.
Tara Moher.
Okay.
Mohr. I knew her surname was spelled funny. Tara, not Tony. Tara Moher. So it's called Playing Big. And it was just a change of mindset for me. And it just made me go, what am I doing? And then all sorts of things fell into place. So my girlfriend was there, complete motivator for me. And then, not really on social media very much, I went on to Facebook, and the Adelaide Endeavour College had said, we need lecturers onto my group, Strictly Practitioners. We need lecturers. And I was like, I can do that. I can totally do that. And so this one holiday gave me a kick up the butt because I was in a different place. I had time away. We'd gone to my girlfriend's house to drop off our kids because she took them off to the reef. And then the next day we took her kids to the reef. So we both had a day off from children, but the kids got double reef, right? So they were thrilled. So she took my kids. And she was like, I'll just stay here in the house. We'll be back later. And my hubby lay down on the sofa and went to sleep all day. He went to sleep for 5 hours because he worked so hard. So he just went to sleep. So I'm like wandering around going, what am I? So I start reading this book. I'm looking at Facebook. I'm doing these things I wouldn't normally do. And I looked around myself and I thought, why am I thinking so small? Why am I keeping it to myself? Why am I keeping what I do to myself?
Yeah.
Why
are you not giving your gifts?
Yeah. And why aren't we all not giving our gifts? And I mean, our clients need us. So mentoring is a very small part of what we do. We all need to share what we know. And we're sharing that with clients. We're sharing that with friends, with family, and we're sharing it with other naturopaths and herbalists and such.
To share in many ways now, and the mentoring and all, because I'm very grateful for all the mentors that I've had in my life and learned really, really amazing things from working with some extraordinary people. And I feel it'll be injustice on them if I didn't pass on what I've learned. And hopefully, people can stand on my shoulders one day. I really hope that.
Yeah, it's all about community, isn't it? All about community.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what? I think we're going to have to leave it there. I think that's a perfect note to leave it on, though.
I love this concept of building community. It definitely works.
Yeah, I reckon that's the perfect spot to leave it on, because what I like my listeners to get is a question or during or at the end. It doesn't matter if you're in the strategy lab, in the, behind the firewall and paying me, or whether you're out here in public podcast land. So I think the question from today, my question for the listeners is, what communities are you in and how can you make those communities bigger?
Big question, Geraldine.
It's a big question for people.
It's food for thought even for me now as I'm even sitting here now. Wow, well, there's so much more I can do connecting with my communities. Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, who are our communities and how can we connect more with them? The majority of people, I shouldn't say everybody, but the majority of people who listen to podcasts, I think, have headsets on or are listening that way rather than it being on the speaker in the car or whatever. And so while you've got that headset in, how can you make that community bigger? Who is that community and who are those people that you can support more? And I don't mean your auntie and your uncle and your family. Hope, you'll be supporting them in every way you can, and you don't want to burn out doing that either. But what I'm talking about is this bigger healthcare community.
Like-minded.
Yes, the like-minded people. How can we make our community bigger so we're not isolating ourselves away from those support networks, and we're supporting them and they're supporting us?
Yeah.
So how to make those communities bigger?
We can only do this when we do this together.
Oh, that is a beautiful ending. We can only do this when we do it together. Thank you so much, Coby.
Thank you so much. It's been inspiring having a chat.
It's been brilliant having
I've
you
learned
on.
something
Thank
new
you
too,
so
yeah.
much. Every so often, it's great to have these chats and have this community connection and really help the listeners to take that next step, to take that leap of faith and to see, we all come from different backgrounds. We've all done different things, but we want to help other people. And who is the community that we want to connect more with that are helping us and that we can help? We want to make sure that there's give and take. We don't want to just be giving. We want to burn out, big thing. But who are those communities and who are the bigger communities and how can we make it bigger for ourselves? Thank you so much for joining us, Coby. It's been brilliant having you on the show.
Absolute pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Good.
Thanks so much for joining me today. Don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe to the podcast for the weekly episodes. Bye for now.